Yo, what's up? Milky's back. It's Monday night. We're here to talk about House of the Dragon. We've got loads of people in the chat, loads of people in the backstage ready to come up. I've got some things I want to show off that I've gathered over the years because I started my channel as a collector and we're moving it into House of the Dragon stuff, and Game of Thrones. But yeah, how is everybody doing? Thank you all for being here. Let's get this show going. So I'm going to get all my guests in and we're just going to start talking. We'll talk for 10 to 15 minutes before we start the slideshow of the episode and break it down. But yeah, let's get going. Everybody in. So Anthony Blaze, welcome in, my friend. Can't wait to speak to you again throughout the week and on Saturday. If everybody didn't check out my wrestling stream on Saturday, please check it out on the channel. It was quite fun ending. YouTube kind of put me in jail for a little bit and they kicked me off when it was quite fun. So Poppy Missouri's in the chat. Hey buddy, Christina Payne, Ian, everybody, thank you very much for being here. Nadia, everybody. And then this dude called Ryan Milky has just been dropping obscenities of links for some strange reason. We should probably put him in timeout in the chat, but hey, you can't do that here. Let's get everybody on, guys. So we're just going to bring everyone on quick fire. The first person that is here on the top is a very good friend of mine and is always around to support. Her name is Baby Ice. Please check her link in the description and also in the chat. We're going to bring her on. Hi, Baby Ice.
Hi. How you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm brilliant, yeah. We're just going to keep bringing all the guests on and then we'll get this show going.
All right.
My next guest, who is just next in line, he is a awesome dude. Come real close with him, over the last couple of weeks we've become real close, especially through the House of Dragon content, and he's just a cool dude. And yeah, there's something in the post coming to me real soon, and it wouldn't be coming if it wasn't for that dude. So I'm super hyped. But yeah, let's bring on Headless Ned Stark. Oh, and there he goes. He's holding the pop up. We'll go.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Show it again. You've got full screen.
Show it again. All right, here we go.
So beautiful.
Here we go.
Damon T. Look at that bad boy.
Yes, I did not get it in the mail today. It's going in the mail tomorrow, though. Did not have a chance today.
It's still it's in transit in my mind, so I know it's
right. That's right. It's in the mail tomorrow. You'll get tracking.
Yeah, and we don't have shipping that is like season 8 Game of Thrones where you can get across country in like an episode, so we're probably going to about season 1 and
unfortunately we did not have any goats, so I could not feed the dragon, so he does not want to fly me, so I'm gonna have to put in snail mail.
Okay,
snail mail.
Yeah, put it in snail mail, that's fine. But yeah, the next person, guys, on our backstage panel I'm going to bring on again has become a close friend over the last couple of weeks, since House of Dragon started. The first time I was introduced to this person, she stole my heart instantly because she was dressed as Daenerys Targaryen, and I was like, dude, So I was like, we've got to connect with this person, and we've got to get them on the show. And thankfully, she agreed to come on, and I love it when she comes here. So yeah, let's bring on Lily.
Hey,
how you doing, my friend?
I love that introduction.
Thank you. I like to make it different and try to be a little bit unique for everybody,
Well, at least she showed up for you, because she fell asleep on me yesterday.
Sorry.
You do go live right after the show, so
I do.
Yeah. But yeah, how you doing, Lily?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Chilling. Looking forward to hanging out, and a little bit upset that I'm only going to be able to do it one more time after this.
I know.
This is the last episode next week. It's a bit scary and a bit upsetting. Like, dude, that's gone so fast.
Yeah.
Crazy, right? So yeah, I have another guest backstage. He is a fellow horseman of mine. He is one of the most generous and kind dudes you'll ever meet on YouTube. Recently, a couple of weeks ago, passed 1,000 subscribers and at the Chili Chip, and he's a crazy dude. He's always working. He seems to work himself into the bed. He's just always working. He must literally wake up, go to work, come home, go to bed, and that's what it is. But tonight he's here talking about House of the Dragon. He hasn't been here for a couple of weeks, so we're going to bring him on. It is Charles, or as his name would say, Mind Blown.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
How's everybody doing tonight? I'm doing good.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Of course.
So yeah,
course.
I want
I took the
to
night off just for you,
click
buddy.
into here.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. So I'm going to just come into here. I've got some buttons that I can click up. So initial thoughts. We're going to talk for 5 minutes. Try to be spoiler free if you can, but if you can't, I understand. Just initial thoughts on this week's episode. We'll start with you, Charles.
Kind of went differently than I expected it to. As the show was going, I was telling myself what was going to happen and didn't. But yeah, little scenarios I put in. Maybe I wanted to happen, it didn't. So yeah, but as I'm blown by this episode.
Yeah, your name said mind blown earlier, so it pretty much stands for itself. Baby Ice, what about yourself? Initial thoughts, if you can be spoiler free, perfect. But I understand.
It was an okay episode for me. I like the ending of it.
Okay.
That's pretty much it, being spoiler free.
Okay. Lily, what about yourself? Initial thoughts on the episode?
Meh. I mean, as Headless said earlier, obviously, right after it ended, I was in a coma. And so, yes, the ending was good, but it took really long to get there. And not a whole lot was super exciting from the beginning until that.
Yeah, I can understand that. And it was episode 9, and in Game of Thrones, episode 9 is usually fire and wasn't really that good. You probably even get that from me as well when we get to me. But first, we're going to go to Headless Ned Stark. What did you think of this episode initially?
Yeah, so yesterday I gave it an 8.5, and the ending kind of bumped it up for me for a 9. I probably, after I didn't watch the entire thing over again, but I would say it's probably like an 8.5, somewhere in that range. For me, it was the worst episode of the season, but also, the worst episode of House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones is usually like probably one of the better episodes for a lot of these other shows. So that's the thing. I mean, there was a lot of cat and mouse running around, and that was a little irritating because it took so long. But there's still a couple things that I really enjoyed, and now that we kind of know the character names a little bit better and who is with who, and you can kind of see where it's headed. And I'm expecting straight fire next week. Like if I don't get straight fire next week, I'm gonna be a little bit upset, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely agree with you. This, each week I've come on and I've said that this episode gets better and better. Every week, Baby Ice laughs at me because I always say it gets better. This week I fell straight off that cliff. This wasn't the best. This wasn't better this week, from my opinion. It was good in its own right, in some senses. We got a lot of dialogue, and I'm a massive dialogue guy when it comes to Game of Thrones and the lore and stuff. And you do learn a lot in this episode, I think. But it definitely takes a lot of rewatches. I've watched it 3 times. What I do to let everybody know backstage and everybody know in the chat, an hour before I go live every Monday, I'm already here backstage and I have the episode playing in the background. So if anybody would like to come along and watch the episode, they're more than welcome to. And obviously my guest will be there for the live show afterwards. So that's something, But yeah, I gave this episode an 8 as well, 7.58. It isn't the best. And obviously having book knowledge, I noticed differences that were from the book that were in the show. And some of it's cool, some of it's not. So yeah, I'm sure we'll get into it. But I want to thank everybody that's here in the chat already tonight. We've got Kenneth Bird saying hello to everybody. We've got Simon Cook. Simon Crook's coming in. Thanks for being here, buddy. I've got Anthony Blaze. It wouldn't be Anthony Blaze if it wasn't capital letters.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him. And then I've got some little gifts to play for tonight, so we'll have a play around with one of
Yeah, I
these.
know. Winter is coming and there's dragons and zombies on the way.
I think we've got another one.
Hey, whose leg do you have to hump to get a Dornish wine around here?
So yeah, what I do, as everybody knows, the last couple of weeks I've been preparing a slideshow, kind of like a PowerPoint thing of the episode, breaking it down, just to give our viewers more of a visual aspect of the show. So I'm going to bring that up, and we are going to get straight into it. So we have House of the Dragon episode 9. I again, like I said earlier, I didn't really rate this episode as high as all the others. I'm sure we'll get into it as we break it down. So we have the first slide. I don't know if a lot of people noticed in the intro scene this week, that there was loads of changes in the intro scene. So this is Viserys' first one, and the blood covering the crown represents that he's now dead. Obviously, he died in the last episode. He took his last breath. If you have the subtitles on, it does actually say takes last breath. So it kind of tells you that he died. So did anybody else notice the change in the titles this week?
I did.
Mm-hmm. How about anybody else? Charles didn't. Lily didn't. What about yourself? Headless, did you?
I did not. I actually skipped them just to kind of get the episode started because I was running late yesterday, so I actually didn't watch it. But
Okay.
it's pretty cool that they have that. Yeah, it's pretty cool that crown right there, though.
I have a couple of shots from the intro, so we'll go to the next one. Here we have Alicent's line, and it has 4 children marked.
4.
Yes, because there is a boy that is in Old Town that is going to be introduced in season 2.
He's older.
No, younger. No, yeah, he's older. Sorry. Yeah, he's older.
Okay.
So yeah, and this is the short line here on the very right-hand side, the short line leading to this first star. That is him. And did you also notice that on this is Alicent's sigil, and they've added a 7-pointed star on the crest. It used to just have the Hightower logo, and now they've added the 7-point star behind it to say that she's part of the faith, more fulfilled into the faith and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's definitely lots of changes. We're going to move to the next one, and here we have the children of Viserys and Alicent. We have Helena, Aegon, and Aemond, and we have their little sigils. So on the left, we've got Helena with a spider, and it looks like a dragon egg is on the back, which is pretty cool. And in the middle one, we've got a woman chained to a royal cup, which means that, because Aegon raped somebody in the last episode, and he does that kind of stuff with women. And then we've got Aemond on the right hand side, and I've shared this tonight because they haven't alluded to this yet in the episodes. But they shared it in the trailer, so they've obviously started to tell people about it. So can anybody guess what that blue thing might represent? Anybody?
I'm
trying to see.
It was driftwood or sapphire.
A sapphire is correct, yes.
Front door.
So it's a blue sapphire, and it's supposed to represent that Aemon has a blue sapphire in his eye socket under his.
Oh, it's nice. Okay.
Under his eye socket thing, his eye mask.
Because that's in the book, isn't it?
Yeah, and they put this in the trailer this week. So in the intro scene this week. So I'm a bit confused as to why. So I'm letting everybody know this week because next week there could be a revelation of it, and then you'll understand why they made that connection.
Well, they do show in the trailer too that he takes off the eye patch, so that's probably why they did this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I caught that. It was one of the biggest things I caught because it was so strikingly obvious. It's blue with a dark background and red blood running through.
So, like, what were these objects here in episode 8 in the opening? Are these
they didn't have them as much. They were just the Hightower. The Hightower symbol. And then this is Daeron. This is the name of the boy, of Alicent's other boy who lives in Old Town. And he has a cup sigil, and it's to represent that he's like a cup bearer in Old Town. That will be in season 2.
That's not Viserys' son?
Yes.
It is?
Yes, that's Viserys' son.
So why is he living by himself?
He's in Old Town.
Why?
Because he was sent there when he went with Otto when Otto was banned. When Otto was banished, he went with Otto and hasn't returned yet.
Do we see this in the show?
No.
All right. Just weird, I guess. I don't know.
I know.
I mean,
This is all in the intro scene, so I just wanted to be able to break it down.
I'm assuming they're going to explain that. I hope.
Yeah, I'm assuming they do. I've heard that they're going to get like flashback scenes and stuff in season 2. So I'm hoping.
So is this like the firstborn? Is this before Aegon?
I don't want to keep giving spoilers.
Yeah, I know. All right, that's fine.
I really feel like I may
It's
have
just
disappointed
weird.
a lot of you with
That's where
spoilers
you're
with this already, but it's
Yeah.
in the
No.
intro, so it's not really a spoiler in my opinion. I'm just breaking down, you know?
Right.
So yeah, here we go. Old Town. This is the home of the Hightowers. This is where Daeron is currently at, and we will see him in the next episode. This is taken straight from Game of Thrones. You can see Samwell and people's names are eluding me today. But yeah,
Gilly.
this is Old Town. It's pretty cool. Gilly, thank you, Baby Ice. Well, so we'll go through to the next scene. This is Helena and Aemon's kids.
Okay.
I'm just going to go straight past that. This is Daemon and Rhaenyra's children, Aegon and Viserys.
Okay.
I need to go back and watch like episode 4 and compare it to that. That's what I need.
Yeah.
I need to get them side by side.
Well, don't forget, Milky's doing a video every day this week, and one of them is an in-depth look at the changes throughout episode 1 to 9 of the intro trailer on its own.
Yeah.
I'm going to break down every change, so
Hey,
it's going to
John.
be really cool. So there we go. We got to slide 10, guys. This is the first scene of the episode. So I would like to say well done to the music dude, Ramin Djawadi, because as this episode opened, I was greeted with music from the Game of Thrones genre, and I fell in love instantly. You know, it was a very strong episode for me. I brightened this photo a little bit so you can all see some more detail, but this is the first time in like 30 years that the crown has been vacant. The throne has been vacant. So it was quite a striking shot. So, yeah, just where did you think this week was going to go, Lily? What did you think we were going to get this week?
I think, well, just because I'm on other social media, I get some spoilers too. So I knew it was going to be all about Team Green this week.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of disappointed me. Although I understand that the story has to be set up and told before the next one. So I
Mhm.
understand that, but I am never fully satisfied if Daemon and Rhaenyra are not going to be in the show, because they are the reason to watch for me. But I liked Alicent more in this episode, and I was wondering, since you read the books, I've heard that in the books they make her to be out as even more of a hated character, like than we can see on the show. And it seems like on the show, they're trying to make us find something good in her. So do they make her humanized in the book as well, or is she really pretty evil in the book?
Yeah, she's pretty evil in the book. She literally contrasts Cersei pretty much to a T in the
Wow.
book. She's really evil. She just doesn't like Rhaenyra. She knows the truth of the parentage of her children. You know, she's always held on to that knowledge that she had, and she just
Okay.
holds it against her. She's like, I think at one point she says, it wouldn't be a shame if she died in childbirth. She said that. So yeah, she kind of hates her, and for her to even say that is kind of sick, because her own mother did that. You know.
So do
Yeah.
you think that they are changing that for the show just because the actress is likable and it hangs on to the character a little more?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Like we have Team Red and Team Green, but really I see Team Grey and Team Grey. They're pretty much bad on both sides, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything that they would like to add for this initial scene before we move on? No. Okay. So I have here a picture of the king, and he reigned from 103 AC to 129 AC. So AC is after Conquer, so Aegon the Conqueror. So yeah, rest in peace, King Viserys. Thank you, Paddy Considine, for such a fantastic role that you played. You are my favourite king in this franchise, I think. And please answer my Instagram messages if you're watching, because I'd love to have you come on the show. just in case he's watching. We love you, Paddy. So yeah, the next scene we have the little boy's obviously running through the corridor. I don't understand why he was even in there, but it's like a little bird. I took that as he was one of like Masario's little birds. And he come in and he whispered into Talia's ear, didn't he? And obviously he told her that the king was dead. And what do you guys think of Talia? What about you, Poppin? Charles, what do you think of Talia?
I didn't like her. You know, I just thought it was. I don't know. Not to try myself, you know, type thing. Like she almost thought it, you know. But
Yeah,
I didn't like her.
I always assumed I could never get a grips in the show as to who she was really working for, whether she was loyal to Alicent or whether she was working behind Alicent's back. And I think in this episode we kind of figure out and get a definitive answer. So yeah, she's cool. I like Talia, and I've been waiting for her to come into it because she does have quite a good storyline. So here we see, and I took a screenshot of her basically going behind Alicent's back because Alicent said, you know, keep it quiet, don't tell anybody. And what she did here was she went and lit the candles in the window, and that signified to Mazario down in the slums that the king had died, and that she then knew what to do with Aegon, which is a bit weird, really. But yeah, did anybody see this coming with her? Did everybody know that she was just a snake, really?
Pretty much. Once, you know, we saw her with the other lady.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here we have the shot where Alicent is talking to Otto, and she tells him, he told me he wished Aegon to be king. And I put here on the side that the king never once said in episode 8 that he wanted Aegon to be king. Silly girl. There's been a lot of confusion over what was said last week. I've had multiple people reach out to me on Instagram, ask me to my face, like, to explain a little bit. Rhaenyra comes to Viserys and asks him if he truly believes in the prophecy of Song of Ice and Fire. And he says, he doesn't really say much, does he, in that episode? And she gets upset and she says, I don't want it. And then it cuts to another scene. And then later in the episode, Alicent goes to see to the king in his last dying moments. And she is on the side of him with no eye. So for one, he cannot see her. And if you listen directly to the conversation, if you can kind of remember what was said to Rhaenyra and remember what he says to her, he doesn't even acknowledge it's her that he's speaking to, as in Alicent. He thinks he's still talking to Rhaenyra. And he says to Rhaenyra, it's Aegon's dream that you are to, you know, a Targaryen is to sit on the throne and they'll be there when it comes to the Night King and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was pretty weird. And I just don't like how she jumped onto this instantly. But, you know, obviously we needed to have some sort of shoe-in. They needed a shoe-in to be able to get Rhaenyra off the throne. So I suppose that this is what they did. So, Baby Ice, what did you think of Aegon being put on the throne with the thought of them doing that?
I never liked the idea of him becoming king. So, I mean, I knew it was going to happen possibly at some point, but I thought Rhaenyra would have been involved because she was the heir to the throne as of this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think about him at all.
Yeah, Christina, we appreciate everybody being here. Thank you, and remember to hit the like button. Hey, Johnny Funko, how you doing, buddy? And welcome in, Ghost Nick. So, Headless, in episode 8, did you at all envisage by the end of it we would be possibly having Aegon as king? Like in episode 8?
So originally no, but after kind of diving into what was actually said at the end of the episode, I can clearly see that was going to happen because it was confusing. You know, I first took it, and we talked about this already, but I first took it as the series was talking about Aegon, but we're talking about Rhaenyra's Aegon, and you know, after talking to you and re-listening to it and using the subtitles, honestly, it really, really helps. But yeah, he thinks he's talking to Rhaenyra, and he's talking about Aegon the First, the Conqueror, who's already dead, and Alicent has no idea that what he's even talking about, and she just assumes that he's talking about their son Aegon. So that's why she's all gung ho about trying to get Aegon on the throne, when really he was meant to be talking to Rhaenyra and wanting for her to keep the throne because of the prophecy. So it makes a lot more sense after you kind of talk about it and rewatch it And honestly, the subtitles helped me a lot understand exactly what was going on in that scene, because I thought I understood it last week, but I clearly didn't.
Mm-hmm. What about yourself, Lily? Were you confused about all this last week, or
No,
I know that
I
you got
understand.
spoiler stuff, so
Yeah, I understood what Allison thought he was saying. My question for everybody would be, do you really believe that Alicent believes that is what Viserys was saying, or is this just her desperate cling to remain in power? Because she knows
yeah,
that
very good
Aegon
question.
is a dirtbag. She knows that he's not worthy. She knows that Viserys would never have thought this way. But at the same time, she was like authentically crying when Viserys died. And I believe she loves her children like Cersei loved her children. But she's too smart to think that he really meant that.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good point that you bring up. I didn't even think of it like that. Yes, she could just be clinging on. You know, contrasting to Viserys a little too late. You know, you tried a little bit too late. You were the peaceful king, as they said you were. And yeah, no, that's a very good point. Maybe I'll think of that next time I rewatch it, and maybe if I can pick up on something. Did anybody else get that vibe? Charles, you seem to agree.
And I think, like Lily said, it was just her desperate attempt to just, because she knew if she wasn't, she was because but I think she knew exactly what he was saying, but she just took it the way she wanted to, and who's gonna what was said, because no one knows what was said. So
yeah. So then we cut to this scene in the small council. That the episode was called the Green Council, so I was obviously expecting a lot of this kind of stuff to happen. So Lord Beesbury is watching the ball on the table, like, quite ominously watching it, and then obviously we know what happens later. So it was quite cool that he had his eyes fixated on this thing. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't have a screenshot to share, unfortunately. But when Tylan picks up this ball and puts it in, did you notice that it looked like a lion's eye? The ball. And he's a Lannister.
What were those balls? I had no idea what that was about.
So the balls are like a official way of like registering in at the small council.
Is that what it is? Okay.
So these traditions obviously get lost through time because they don't do it in Game of Thrones. Right. I look at Alicent's chair sometimes and I imagine Tyrion trying to drag that round so that people can sit in it, and it's like, dude, you're not going to be able to move that thing.
One of the best things in Game of Thrones, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Absolutely, definitely. So here we find out that, and also Otto held on to his ball, and he said some things that were pretty much downright just against everything that was already set out to be, He kind of said, okay, well, we're going to put Aegon on the throne, and Alicent kind of didn't want to do it. She wants to have them have their own answer back, bend the knee, and we can live prosperly and all this kind of stuff. But obviously Otto doesn't want that, so he says the things that he says, and then when the other guys agree, Tyland and I forget this dude next to Kristen Cole, I forget his name, they agree to, they tell us that they've already been planning this stuff for weeks behind Alicent's back, which was like, okay, that's a bit shocking. That isn't in the books. That they don't plan it. It does come pretty much out of nowhere, So it's a bit crazy. And we're going to move to the next scene where they say that the gold will be divided for safekeeping, so everybody's going to get a share of the crown's gold. So that's another way of Otto diluting the crown and making it not as powerful as it used to be, owned by one family, and now splitting it out. And Lord Beasley has always been on Rhaenyra's side, and he basically stands up and says, I will not have this, this is treason, basically. And yeah, we're going to come. What did you guys think? Did you think we were going to lose this dude this week? Because obviously in the next scene he's dead. So did you think we were going to lose him?
No, Sir Kristen lost his mind.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so.
Okay, so did everybody watch the trailer for last week on episode 8 when we watched the trailer for 9? Did everybody watch that?
I think so.
So there's a shot in that trailer with Kristen Cole holding the knife to the Kingsguard dude. Do you remember that shot?
Mm-mm.
Not really.
In that exact shot, you can see Lord Beasley lying down on the table, head down.
Oh
in
my
that
God.
trailer shot. In the trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So they showed us. It didn't show any blood or anything like that. And technically, Kristen Cole didn't kill him, because we're going to go to the next shot. Technically, Kristen Cole didn't do it. The bull did. You know, he just pushed him down, and the bull killed him. Can you be impaled by a bull?
Ugh.
I don't know.
Apparently.
Yeah, you can.
So yeah, and
Really?
I put here for a conversation starter for us all. How does Kristen Cole keep getting away with this? Headless. Any thoughts?
I mean, because he's good looking. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
what's
just
he done?
protected by Alicent.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously what it is. He's protected by her, and you know, I don't know if any of these guys in the other, you know, I don't know if the other, anybody else in the Kingsguard could even really defeat him at this point. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think it's because of Alicent, though.
Mm-hmm. So he's just got his finger right around Alicent.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's protecting him for sure.
Everybody else agree on that? That's probably why he's getting away with it. Because who's he killed now? He's killed the gay guy that was with Lena, Joffrey.
And now this dude.
Is this the second person?
That's the second person he's killed, but didn't he beat the crap out of? Oh no, he got beat by what's his face, right? Harlan.
Harwin?
Harwin, yeah.
Yeah.
Harwin beat him. So he's killed two people.
Mm-hmm.
Two minor characters.
He pretty
So I wanna-
grossly beats them too.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I want to give everybody some background on Lord Beesbury's death in the books, because everybody knows that the books are a accounting of other people's thoughts. You know, that's what they believe happened from different perspectives, and one of them is he is killed. One of them is that he is arrested by Otto and he is put in the cells, and he dies of the cold chill in the cells. That one was given to you by Otto Hightower. And then there was another one from Mushroom who said that Sir Kristen Cole slit his throat at the table, and that was that. He killed him. But then there's also another one from Maester Euston, who we later see in the episode doing the sacrificial stuff to Aegon. That's Euston in the books. He says that Kristen Cole throws him out of the window and he falls and impales himself on the spikes. So knowing that there's 4 deaths that we've now potentially could have had. We've had the ball killing, we've had the slicing of the throat, we've had the prison with the cold, and then we've had the falling out the window. I asked you, Baby Ice, which of those 4 would you have preferred to have seen?
Well, to keep with as close to the books as I can, at least with this, I would want it to be where he gets his throat slit by Kristen.
Okay. What about yourself, Charles? Out of those 4 options, which one would you have preferred?
The window. Yeah, I'm just
Sadistic minds think alike. What about yourself, Lily?
I'm going to go with either the throat or the window. I think it had to be immediate because that reaction was super important to just immediately like, no, you will not say anything against Queen Alicent. So like rotting in the cold cave, that would have taken too long, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the story of them hiding in the arresting him and putting him in the cell was a lie. It was just to not tell anybody what really happened. You know, It was just, he died alone. But Headless, what about yourself? Out of the 4 options, which one would you have preferred?
Probably the throat. It makes the most sense, I think.
Yeah, I would have liked him to have been thrown out the window. I would have liked to have seen that visually. Would have been pretty cool. But hey, it's cool. You know, we'll get onto it. So then we also see in this scene. Let me get his name because I am terrible today with names. The King's Guard. I'm trying to load in the characters. What's his name? If anybody can help me.
Is it the honorable one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that the
That's
Harold
Baldy
one?
Locks.
Harold Goldilocks. So it's Harold Westerling.
Yeah, Harold Westerling.
Yeah, so in this scene we also see Harold Westerling approach Kristen and say, remove your armor, remove your cape. You know, you're no longer part of this. You've just done something atrocious to somebody on the council. And he kind of stands up for himself, doesn't he? And I'm like, oh shit, what's going to happen here? And I was expecting Harold to die, because in the books he died 10 years ago. He's not alive at this point.
Oh,
That's interesting.
They've kept him alive for this.
So in the book, then, maybe that's a spoiler if you tell us like who the head of the Kingsguard is right now. Then
Well, we find out in this episode who the next person is, don't we? So.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah.
So yeah, he's been dead. So at the next scene, I have him here on a beach because he says I'm done. I'm not going to serve no king, because I'm not going to be a king's guard if there's no king to serve. So he goes on a beach with his horse and he goes and lives his merry way. We don't know what happens to him. We don't know if he gets killed. We haven't got a clue. So last week I told you all that we probably could have like 3 deaths this week. I assumed he was going to be one of them because he died 10 years ago. I assumed that this week was going to be it because Kristen Cole stood up to him.
I think he'll be back.
Yeah, I think he'll be back too. But yeah, I thought I'd just have a bit of laugh and lighten the mood a little bit with him on the beach. Pretty cool. But yeah, next scene, Helena. So lots to talk about Helena. So I have some of the things that she has said in the episodes. He'll have to close an eye. Hands turn loom, spoons of green, spools of black, dragon's flesh, weaving dragons of thread, and beware the beast beneath the boards. Thoughts on Helena, Baby Ice?
she's still a mystery to me. Like, I hope she has a bigger role than what they've been doing with her the last couple episodes. I'm hoping to see her get bigger here.
Okay. Lily, predictions, thoughts?
Well, I like her, and I like to call her Helena Luna Lovegood Targaryen for any Harry Potter people out there, because she's all flighty and weird like her. But I think she's important because of these seeings that she can do. But I also thought it was really interesting later when, without saying too much, but later when Alicent wants to protect her first. Do you notice that later?
Mm-hmm.
She was like, get Helena. I thought that was really interesting. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I like that you picked up on that. Charles, do you have any thoughts on Helena?
Same thing. I think she's going to be pretty important here coming up. Like Lily said, it was weird how she wanted to protect her first. She figured her boys could protect themselves, and she couldn't, maybe? I don't know. I think there's more to that, and we're going to find out here soon. So.
Yeah, I think when in the future episodes going forward, when she speaks, I think you should all listen very carefully to the things that she says. Headless, you're the last one I'll come to. What do you think about Helena?
Yeah, I honestly think moving forward, she might be one of my favorite characters. I kind of like what they're doing with her. I wish she was involved more, but again, it's Game of Thrones. They build these characters slow, so I can see myself really liking her in season 2.
Do you guys want me to drop a book bomb?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
She doesn't have these powers in the book.
Ah,
Oh my god.
God.
You said yes.
I know.
I didn't know it was going to be bad.
I said a book bomb. It's going to be a big explosive.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it because at least it's different. It's not the exact
show,
same
yeah.
thing.
The showrunners are connecting the little integral things that get said in episodes that mean so much more later on down the line.
Yeah.
And they teasers.
Without spoilers, in the book at this point, what's the most important thing about her?
Nothing.
Ah,
Oh my goodness.
Well, that's good though. That way they made her character more meaningful in the show.
yeah.
I mean, Game of Thrones has always had some type of magical aspects to it anyways. So honestly, without her, there really is nothing. So I kind of like it.
I think in her connection with
without
Alicent
her
is bringing
having-
the more motherly part to her
Yeah.
that they're pushing for whatever reason.
Purely at the point you said at this point in the book, she
Okay.
does do more stuff in the future.
Yeah.
Frank Curtis has dropped in with a comment. It is kind of spoilery, so I'm not going to explain anything to do with it. But he comes in and does this mean, does she know what's going to happen with Blood and Cheese? So for book readers, they might know that term, but for anybody else, it hasn't been explained at all in the show, so I'm not going to delve into it yet.
Okay.
But Frank, I'm just going to say that I'll message you if you add me on Instagram or talk to me on Instagram. I'm happily talk to anybody that wants to know spoilers. I just don't want to put it out there on a live stream to ruin it for the future.
I hope it has nothing to do with feet.
Oh. I'd let you all know I didn't get a picture of the feet this week, so you're all safe.
Oh, dang. I had questions about this.
We can talk about it, but I just didn't get a picture of it.
Okay.
So here I have another shot where she said that he will have to close an eye, which was pretty cool. When she said that he had to go claim his dragon and then come back and he lost an eye because of it. Which again, Aemon is probably my favorite character still in this show. And oh look, he's next. This scene was fantastic when he was talking about how they're looking for his brother Aegon. Alicent sends them, and Otto sends two, and Alicent sends two to go look for the King Aegon, so that they can put him on the throne. And it's a mad chase. I understand why a lot of people might not have enjoyed this episode because it was so heavily in this. Yeah, he says that if I was him, I would be wanting to be found. There was a complete contrast between the two brothers. One didn't want it, and one does want it and feels like he should have it. He says he's trained better in the swords, he's trained better in everything, and he should be king. So I put it to the whole panel. I'll ask you all individually, or you can all answer as your own. Who would you prefer as king? Aegon or Aemon going forward into episode 10? Who would have made it more exciting for you? Aemon. Headless? Aemon. Okay. You think that I agree. I think going into episode 10, Aemon is king, and then you have the Daemon situation. He'd be like, okay, now I've got to go and deal with this,
Right.
They would have built that, and hey, it would have been cool. But yeah, we're going to go on now. This is where yeah, definitely. So this gets a little bit more crazy. We have Eric, the whole Eric with an E and Eric with an A, the twins for the King's Guard. It's absolutely crazy. I got so confused in this episode, and I think I'm going to call HBO out. I think that they even got confused in the subtitles. I think I caught it once in the subtitles that they said it was the other one when it was actually the other one speaking. So I was like, naughty HBO. You make it hard enough as it is. So this is Eric with an E. He's the King's Guard. And this is Eric with an A. And he is his brother. And they are in the King's Guard, and they are both sent to go find Aegon. So what did you guys think? Lily, what did you think of this whole cat and mouse chase thing?
I didn't like it, starting with them just looking for Aegon, because we already know he's a dirtbag and he's not worthy. So to me, it was unnecessary to go find him, pull him out of the gutters, and see the kind of life he's living. To me, that was just predictable. But these two, this was super confusing. If the names weren't hard by this point, to give us twins with the same name but a different letter, that was why? Mm-hmm. But I just remember it. The only thing I can't tell, I think Headless was trying to help me remember by something they wear, but Eric with the A is Team Hightower, and Eric with the E is Team Rhaenyra.
Mm-hmm. That we think.
That's true.
So I go Eric with an A. Is Alicent. Yes. Alicent.
Oh yeah.
That's how I see it in my head, just to make it clearer.
Is there anything, because they're twins, so just by looking at them when I'm trying to watch them on screen, is there a way that you can immediately tell them apart that I'm missing?
This is quite a funny shot.
No.
So yeah, you can in some shots, and I didn't get a shot of it. They wear different clothes. So one has a reddish tint and one has a bluish tint in their clothing. And it is noticeable. And also one has a mustache that kind of goes up a little bit and one goes straight down. But yeah, it's really hard to understand. Mm-hmm. So, Headless, You were confused as everybody else with all this stuff, right?
Yeah, I was, but I think I got it now. So I don't know. So here's the thing. So you're saying Eric with an A is with Allison, but Allison didn't even send him.
No,
He's loyal to her.
He's part of the Greens. He's loyal to Allison.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to make it easier for people.
I don't
Eric
know.
with an A. Allison.
I'm still leaning toward. Okay, never mind. I don't know. I'm still leaning toward Allison. Maybe at some point going with Rhaenyra. Somewhere down the line. But I understand what you're saying now.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Baby Ice, were you confused by all this?
I was just confused on why was he missing? Like, did somebody kidnap him to get him missing, or did he just run away and was missing? Because I didn't understand how he lives in the palace when he wasn't in the palace.
Well, he lives his life down in the sex dungeons and the fighting pits that we found out in this episode, and then we also find out later on with the conversation between Otto and Mysario that she did kidnap him. She was holding him, basically. She knew where his whereabouts were.
Right, because
she wanted something over it. Yeah,
Right.
She wanted something over it. She even says in that line, doesn't she? She says, when you install your grandchild onto the throne, just know that I put him there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I got it then, but I didn't know what it started as,
Mm-hmm. So then we get to this next scene. Anybody else have anything to add about the Eric brothers? It's pretty hard to talk about them when it's still so confusing.
I just wish we had a little more background on them because I don't know. Besides a few scenes here and there, I didn't really know what was going on with them. But after watching it a second time, that part, it helps. But it was just just weird to like have these two characters that we really don't know very well yet. And I'm like, why are these guys so important? But I can see where it's going. Yeah,
I think we had like one scene last week where Allison comes out of the council room and she calls Eric the wrong name and he goes, "No, I'm Eric," and it's like, what the hell? And that was the only kind of introduction we got about them. And
that was the only thing.
This week they seem to be like fighting with each other, and they seem to be like they clearly seem to be on different sides, and we find that out later in the episode. But this scene kind of freaked me out a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but she says to him, "If everything you feel for me as your queen, go find my son." Do you think there's more behind that? Does she know that he wants maybe a relationship with her?
Yes.
I've been saying that for 3 episodes now.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you guys ship them? Do you want them to be together?
Mm-mm. I don't like him. I think I don't like him.
He's a pretty boy slime ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked him. I liked him in the first couple episodes, and then when that whole thing happened at the wedding and he kind of went with her, I could tell he's more of a what's the question or what's the description I'm trying to use? He reminds me that he's just like more of a Jamie Lannister type.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do like Jamie in the later seasons, but just think back to like season 1 and season 2. Jamie was a complete dirtbag too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you think that they could be building some story arc with him, that we might end up liking him closer to the end?
I don't know. I think they went in reverse. I think everyone liked him. I mean, I remember going on live on these episodes, and I'm like, oh man, I want more Kristen Cole. I want more Kristen Cole. Now I can't. I don't like him at all. So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And with that statement from Headless, I'm going to come straight to you, Charles, because I think in episode 2, your favorite character you said was Kristen Cole.
Yeah.
You said my boy Kristen Cole.
Yeah.
What do you think about him now?
I think he's just playing whatever side helps him at the time, and he knows he's got Allison wrapped around his finger, or he's wrapped around her. She's protecting him. He can do what he wants at this point, and he knows, so he's going to run that as long as he can. And is he going to turn good at the end? I think everyone's just going to be out for him at the end. That's personally me.
He's the kind of character.
Like
he's the kind of character that I could see that is going to give his life to make up for what he's done. That to me, that's kind of like where his arc is going. I mean, I could be completely off, but to me, that's kind of where I think he's headed.
Are you grasping onto that because of the scene where he tried to kill himself?
Yeah, that partly, yes.
Yeah, okay. No, I completely agree, because the way he tried to kill himself was a very honorable way as well. It was like a samurai, the way they do it with the blades. You know, it's kind of an honorary way to do it, I suppose. But yeah.
You know, and the other part
creepy.
too, and the other thing with this too is so it's just Jacaerys is the oldest son, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dude, I still in the back of my mind, I still think that's Kristen Cole's kid. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of like one of the big things. I might actually make a video about that and explain why I think that. But that's one thing I've been thinking the whole time is that one kid, because those boys really are not in it very much. I mean, that dinner scene in episode, I think it was episode 8, that was probably the most we've really seen those kids, besides the little goofiness with the dragons and the goat and all that, I'm sorry, the pig. I still kind of think that though with him. And if you really dig a little deeper and you look at their haircuts, it's different. It's different. It's different than the other two.
When they share a scene in the courtyard last episode, the one's got black hair, one's got brown. And if we play this rule in this game where if you haven't got blonde hair, you're not a Targaryen, then let's play the rule that those two brothers haven't got the same hair and they're not real brothers, you know? So Headless just said that he's going to make a video all about Kristen Cole, so I'm going to pop up his link there, guys. You can also click it in the chat. Please subscribe to his channel and follow him. And stay tuned for that video coming soon. It's going to be a good one.
Definitely.
So we'll move on. So I have here somebody locked up Grandma.
Poor Raina.
I know, poor Rhaenys. Powerful. Well, she's never powerful, is she? She's always on the cusp of power, and she never seems to get it from the start of this show. You know, what did you guys think to her being locked up? It was obvious, though, right, Lily?
Yeah. Are we going to talk about when her and Allison talk later, or should I talk about that now?
No, go for it now. Yeah, I don't know what in the next scene is. Let me just check.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So when she says something or other to Allison when she comes in about her always bowing down to the men, to the patriarchy, really, instead of ever considering herself to be in power. And I think that's why earlier when they were at the round table, remember you talked about how the men had been plotting that for weeks. And you're like, I don't know why they really added that. I think that was to build up this conversation, to kind of foreshadow it and just make that a point that Allison isn't being a strong woman like she would have been because she wanted to be queen, or Rhaenyra, who will take the throne.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Allison is happy to aid the throne. Rhaenys would have liked to have had the throne. You know, she even whispers that to her, doesn't she? Have you ever seen yourself sat on the Iron Throne?
Yeah.
You never asked by her to do things yourself. Why do you have to always back up the men? So, yeah, I completely get it. We got PDX in the chat. He says, are they brother and sister? And Headless is in there trying to help him out. And he says, I don't know. I have no clue what's going on right now.
Are who brother and sister?
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to help him.
Maybe if we go back, are you going on these two? Do you think
that's what I was thinking. He was talking about Kristen and Allison, but
So Fidel's in the chat. Thank you for being here, Fidel. You were part of Headless's live last night. There's something going on with these two, he says. And he goes, Funko PDX. I read that with Mr. Hankey's voice from South Park. So just because South Park was mentioned, I'm going to.
Winter is coming and there's dragons and zombies on the way.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Funko. Oh no, Funko. That is they're not. No, they're not related in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, haha. No, Fidel, you're not late. Thank you for being here, my friend. We appreciate it. So let's go carry on. Here we have. So we had a scene as well where Lord Otto Hightower gathered all of the lords in, because court is. It's crazy because, like, where did all these guys come from? Like, this is supposed to be the day after Viserys died, and all these court people are already here. Like, if they were going to send for all the people that they needed to send for, it would have took a couple of weeks, you know, like it did with the feast. So I was a bit confused by this, because we just had these normal guys, and we have the one dude who I think we'll get to later. But yeah, this scene, obviously this dude, Lord. Oh, I forget his name. Let me try and pull it up. His name is Alan Caswell.
Yes.
Alan Caswell, Lord Caswell. He obviously bent the knee in that room to save face, and then he tried to escape. And we could see that it was too obvious, dude. Like, sleep on it and then leave in the morning. Like, why'd you have to leave right now? You know, I would never have left right there and then. And I screenshotted this shot specifically because he calls Lord Varys the Lord Confessor. Now, this is a direct quote from the book. Varys's title is the Lord Confessor, and I've been waiting for it, and we finally have it confirmed. He is the Master of Whispers in the show, and they've confirmed it tonight with the Lord Confessor presumes. And here we have Lord Larys Strong, Master of Whispers, confirmed in the show. Do you guys, Charles? He's a snake, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't trust him at all.
I believe so. No.
Would you send him a picture of your feet?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Depends.
So I would like to start a petition online that if you hear this message, please send a private DM message to the actor and send a picture of your feet. If we could get a worldwide phenomenon of everybody sending pictures of their feet to this actor, I think it could be cool. And if that does happen, just know that Ryan Milky started it here tonight live with 10 people watching. So I appreciate it. And Fidel says, love that episode. So Lily, do you have any deep thoughts or anything that you want to say about Larys?
Oh, he's so gross. He's so gross. He's playing the role really well, but barf. Oh my god.
Oh, I didn't know they had OnlyFans back in the day. Like, he subscribed to Alicent's OnlyFans. You know, it was crazy. I was like, dude, like, how much did you pay to get those? She seemed happy by it too, didn't she? Like,
Well, her back was turned.
I
Yeah.
don't know if she saw him doing
We don't
it.
know. Yeah. The question is, did she know that was going on? I don't think so. Or she turned a blind eye.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Why?
Do you think he's got a fetish for it because his foot is bad?
I think it's just a foot fetish.
I think it's because he doesn't have a good foot.
I don't know.
Or he might not have a foot at all.
He has. He's got a club foot. It's massive and thick and horrible and gangrene and it's horrible.
Oh, okay, I thought it was just in some strange boot. I didn't know if there was anything.
They call him clubfoot, right?
Yeah, it's club foot. He was born with a massive foot and it was twisted at the wrong angle. So
She's got to know he's not trustworthy, right?
Well, my question is, how long has that been going on for? Because it almost seemed natural to her, like she's done it before. So
If she saw it, if she knew it was happening, I feel like we're not positive she knew. Maybe she knew.
I took from the exchange with the two of them that she was giving him access to look at her feet for the information that he gave her.
Really?
I took it as I took it as that. I genuinely took it as that.
I thought maybe she was just so worn out from the day that she wasn't thinking of it, and he's just a perv.
She knew it was happening.
So would you rather show a creep your feet, or would you rather have to sleep with a dude to stay loyal to him?
Feet.
I don't know. I'd rather send my feet. So
Yeah.
maybe maybe she's decided that that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tilts Pops, welcome in, my friends. What of it? Thank you for stopping in.
I mean, it makes sense now that you say that, but I guess when I was watching it, I definitely didn't think so. But you could tell that Alicent will do pretty much whatever it takes to get the information and kind of stay on top, and I don't know. I mean, that dude is just creepy, man.
I got the sense that he gave her a line of information and she had her socks on, and then he gave her another line of information and she took them off.
Yeah, now that you're saying it, I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So
What happens in the book?
I can't tell you that's a spoiler genuinely for
Okay.
the future
Mm.
because the stuff's already happening that hasn't happened yet. So we'll get into it. So this is the dude that it is Lord Merryweather, and he is of the family Long Table. So it's a new
long table.
Yeah, Long Table, the family of Long Table, the House of Long Table. It's weird. They are in the book. There's loads of families, as we say. There's like 24 different families that can come and bend the knee to the future king or queen. And I genuinely couldn't pick anybody else apart from this dude, Lord Merryweather, because he stands up and says, "Well, I'm not making a decision. I need to go and speak with my council." And Otto says, "You ain't leaving this room until you've declared either way." And I was like, I thought they were just going to kill him there and then. I thought they were just going to stab him in the room. It would have been more, for me, it would have been more impactful if the dudes had just stabbed him in that room in front of everybody. Did you guys obviously know he was going to die?
Mm-mm. I mean,
No.
I mean, I did. But then, if they kill him on the throne, they got to bring out the Zumba. Dude, it's just a big whole thing,
Tilt's Pop just popped in and said that they're dropping a music video tonight with just pop feet. Yes. So here we have a shot of a bastard child. So we have Eric and Eric running around looking for Aegon, and they just so happen to come to a Pokemon style battle arena with children. Like, HBO, if you're listening, what have you got against kids? Like, this whole season, you just had been brutally abusive to children.
right.
Game of Thrones was gory, it was sexual, it was amazing. And then we get to House of Dragon, and they've obviously thought, what can we do to shock people? What can we do that's different and new, and a new thing? And obviously they decided, hey, let's abuse children and attack them. It's pretty weird. I was kind of put off by this scene.
But if it's in the book, I mean, because we talked about this scene, and you did tell me it was in the book. So I mean,
yeah,
that's why it's in the show.
Yeah.
I'm kind of digging them cutting off those, or not cutting, but sharpening up their teeth. Though I mean, that's pretty smart right there. If you want to win,
making them feral, yeah, it's crazy.
I think they should have left this part out. I think they took it too far. I hated it. Hated it.
I agree.
I liked it. What does that say about me?
Charles, did you like the children fighting? As a scene in a show, you don't have to say that you enjoy children fighting. I understand.
I mean, we got backyard fighting every Saturday night, but no. I don't see that it added anything to the show, because it wasn't like it was Egon fighting him. I don't understand why they had to put it in there. Not offended by it by any means.
I just think it was. I think actually it's an important scene just to show exactly what happens, And then when we get to Game of Thrones, 60, 70 years later, we don't see that. So things have actually changed. I mean, we can go all the way back, to the 40s, 50s, and 60s with slavery and all that kind of stuff. All that and the whole movement with women and stuff like that. So obviously over the years, things have changed in America as well. I think that's kind of what they're doing. And that's why I kind of liked it. I mean, it just kind of shows the progression.
I think it might show how bad of a person Aegon is too, especially if that's his own kid. Like that shows just how there's no redeeming him.
And I mean, are we assuming he knows that's his kid?
No,
we really haven't seen him interact with him.
I don't think Aegon knows he's got bastards.
You don't think he knows he has bastards when he sleeps with all these people?
He's a whore, dude.
And they have white hair, though.
He raped a woman.
I know how many.
Right.
I know how many people have white hair. That dude, that kid right there looks more like a more like a Targaryen, obviously, than any of Rhaenyra's kids.
Yeah. I take the same thought as Lily did. I thought it was there purely to show us the sadistic stuff that Aegon gets up to. The first they went to a brothel because that's where we assumed he would be from the previous episodes. He's addicted to sex. He raped this woman last week. All this kind of stuff, And then this week, he's not in the brothels. and we have to go to even deeper, darker areas to find the guy that's now going to be king. You know, it kind of shows us his personality and shows us the kind of person that he could be as a leader. So, you know, that's something moving forward. So I definitely enjoyed the scenes. And yeah,
I
this
got
dude.
the Joffrey vibe from this.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that you say that, Baby Ice, because I'm going to ask you all next week whether you would prefer Joffrey back, because Aegon is a bastard. He's a little shit.
I think Aegon's worse than Joffrey,
Yeah, I do too.
for sure.
Yeah.
Joffrey didn't. I'm sorry to say this word again 3 times, but Joffrey didn't rape a girl. You know, as far as I'm
No,
aware.
he beat the shit out of them and killed them.
Yeah, and put words through them for fun. But I don't know.
That's
I mean,
tough.
I mean, do you not remember the scene with Joffrey and the bow and the bow and arrow? I
Yeah,
mean,
that
my
was
dear
bad.
God, that was brutal.
Yeah,
That was brutal.
that was very.
But this is Aegon's own kid right there.
That's even worse. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Air Spider's in the chat, and he goes, "I liked it when the dragon mounted the other dragon." #Dragonborn. And I like how he didn't spell the word right, because I think I have a ban on the word in the chat, but maybe we fixed it. So here, did anybody notice the House Tully sigil on the back of one of the children's clothing? Bonus points if anybody caught this, because
no.
I didn't catch it.
No, I didn't.
I caught it on the 3rd rerun, and I was watching it in 50% speed, because that's what I do. I'm weird, but don't hate me because I watch the show in half speed.
At least you don't watch it in 25% speed.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do that, dude. That's like
Wow.
so long.
6 hours.
No, that's for the Lord of the Rings fans. They can do that.
Oh my goodness.
Music video of Pop Feet just dropped. Tilts, at the end of this breakdown, we're going to play your video live on the stream. Please don't copyright strike me. Didn't catch that at all, says Fidel. Okay, so Fidel doesn't get 10 points for Gryffindor. Because there's dragons in that show. But yeah, that's the House Tully sigil on the back of his shirt. So connecting it to more houses.
Dude,
So
how do
here
you
we
see
have
that? I'm like blowing this picture up. How do you even see that? I don't even see it. Go back to that. God, like, how do you even? I mean, I guess.
So can you not see the purple darkness, the white waves, and the fish jumping out of the water?
Yeah, I can see the fish, but everything else is like. I mean, I'm blind, maybe that's why, but
I can see the
I-
fish.
I-
That's about it.
yeah, you can see the fish, and that's about it, right? Where's the purple dot at?
It's just the bottom. It's darker.
The bottom of his darker. Yeah, okay.
I can't
All
see
right.
that at all.
Well, that's because you
I
are
can
blind.
just barely see it.
Let me see if I can update the picture live. Can I update the brightness? This is testing, guys, so we'll see if this works. Here, I'm gonna go to here. Like, where's the brightness?
This was just like some random kid running around.
This is with the kids fighting in the background.
So he was actually fighting in the pit.
Yes.
So he would be related to like Catelyn and what's her face? Her sister. What's Catelyn's sister's name?
The one that breastfed her children till he was 24.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want to see the little man. I want to see the little man fly. Go punch that kid. Talk about a character who didn't die that should have died.
Right.
Hey,
And
I
the
got
kid-
a new subscriber.
And honestly, that
Very
kid got
well done.
that kid got weirder and weirder looking as he actually got older. Like I didn't think that was possible.
So I'm going to move this down and bring it back up just for the sake of brightening it, because I actually did brighten it. So I'm going to remove it down for a second. Slide 31 is what we're at. I need to remove it and re-bring it back in. Slides. House of the Dragon. Add to stream. Slide 31. Why is it doing this?
Did it push you all the way back?
Yeah, when you reload it in, it just starts from the beginning.
What program are you using for that?
Google Slides
Google Slides. Okay. Yeah.
works perfectly with StreamYard. So
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if it's any brighter. Probably isn't.
I think it's darker.
It's either that
Okay.
or my eyes are getting worse as the night goes on. Now we believe you, Ryan. You're good.
I know you do. But
I can
here you
see
go.
it.
Watch this. Watch this. Is that brighter?
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Okay,
Oh,
Now
there
it
you
looks
go.
like he's
I
getting
see it.
millions. Yeah.
Now it makes sense. Okay, I see it.
So you see it now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. There we
Wow.
go. Milky did that all on the fly. Next scene. So here we have Laris talking with Otto, and Otto says, "I noticed you've been spending time with the Queen more often." And he did everybody notice he said this in the light, and then he walked out of the light, and then he stopped with his foot still in it, and Otto said what he said, and Lily's face when I said foot. He then comes back in and said, "There is no reason why those hours could not, in the end, benefit you." Now, to me, this was a massive gameplay move.
Yep.
Like now he's working with the Queen and the Hand of the King to do what he wants to do, and eventually, he says here, "I don't see why those hours could not benefit you." I believe that all of the things that he's doing is just to benefit himself. I don't believe that he has any loyalty to anybody in this show.
I really, with this character, I really want to know what his overall motive is, though. What is motivating him to even do all this? Is it just simply power? Is it, it's weird right now with me for me with him. I actually like the character. It's just weird. It's almost like he came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously he's the overlooked child. He's the disabled child of the family of Strongs, and he was overlooked for the title, for the honor of the house and all that kind of stuff. So I think he wants power because again they don't really emphasize much, but he is the commander of Harrenhal now. There's no one else left. He owns Harrenhal. So yeah, I know we've already spoken about him quite a lot, so we'll probably just move on to this scene. Go ahead.
Really quick. So he might be the most villainous in the show. Okay, so I still think Otto is the most villainous. I really do, but he's definitely a close second. But honestly, think about in Game of Thrones, Tyrion was always likable, even though we weren't exactly sure what his motives were until later in the year, later in the seasons. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Tyrion, to be honest with you.
Laris?
A little bit, just because of the fact he is what's the word? He's almost goes unnoticed sometimes. Where Tyrion would just kind of he kind of knew everything. Tyrion kind of knew everything, and people thought he was just a drunk dwarf. And this dude, he kind of just is kind of in the background. He's gathering all the information, and Tyrion did the same thing. And then before he knew it, honestly, I would have been 100% fine with Tyrion being on the throne at the end of that series. I was actually hoping for that. I didn't want Daenerys to die. Spoiler alert. But I didn't want her to die. I wanted her and Jon Snow to just go rule Winterfell, take over what his dad did, And I was kind of rooting for Tyrion just to take the throne. I thought that would have been a really cool ending. They kind of went the other way with that, but that I kind of get the vibes of Tyrion from this guy. He's just kind of in the background, just kind of chilling right now and gathering some information. Because Tyrion was very informative. I mean, he was very informative. Yeah, Tywin. I still love the interactions between him and Fidel. No, I know, right?
Yeah, Fidel goes, "Daddy died." No.
Spoilers. Danny, dude, I'm telling you, give it another 5 or 6 years. Danny's coming back. You've heard it here first on Ryan Milky's Live. Danny's coming back.
I don't know if you should kick him off or not. Dude. I don't know if she will or not. I don't know. I like what you think about this, though, about this dude and making that connection.
That's what I feel like.
So he's like a villainous Tyrion. A villainous Tyrion.
Villainous Tyrion. There you go.
Yeah. If you put that adjective in front of it, I can connect it more because I love Tyrion.
Oh, Tyrion was great from the beginning, but he was also kind of like the he was like the kind of like the comedy what did they say? The
Like the comic relief.
The comic relief, exactly. He was kind of like the comic relief. I mean, I just got done watching season 1, and he's got so many good one-liners, and his one-liners throughout the rest of the seasons are better than what they are in season 1. But he has so many good ones, you know. And then when Catelyn catches up to him and captures him and all that, and like you kind of hate him to a point, but like you still like him. And right now, I don't really like this guy. But I just get those vibes. I get those vibes. Like maybe in 2 seasons from now, I'm gonna go back and watch this and be like, I like this dude. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I have a theory.
I never felt that way with Joffrey, and I never felt that way with Ramsay. You know,
I love Ramsay.
And seeing you love Ramsay. Well,
I love him.
You got a twisted mind, so you love Dexter too.
I'm liking Lily more and more every stream because I like Ramsay. I like Dexter. I like Littlefinger. Do you like Littlefinger, Lily?
I do. I think Laris is more like Littlefinger, but there were redeeming qualities about Littlefinger. To me, so far, Laris is just ugh.
Yeah.
But that's just because you don't like the feet thing.
I think it might be, but he's always all like creepy and hunchy and like lurking. I guess Littlefinger was too, but
he's definitely
welcome in
creepy.
killer.
He's definitely creepy.
Yeah, definitely. I like how I said, has anybody got anything to say about him? And nothing, and then we moved on and we went on a tangent. I love it. So this scene caused a lot of confusion as well, because especially with Headless, like he had to ask me, who is this woman? Because we've seen her and I don't know who she is. And I had to explain to him, this is Massario.
And ever since we even talked, and that was only like an hour and a half ago or so. Well, I mean, I don't know how long we've been on here, but 2 hours
We've
ago.
been on an hour and 20 minutes.
So that was like 2 hours ago we talked about this. And now I'm starting to think, again, I've not read the books. I have no idea. But so it's been like about 20, 30 years, almost 30 years, right? Aren't we almost at 30 years at this point?
Yep.
I'm thinking Melisandre right here. Is she a witch? She doesn't age. She looks younger now than she did in episode 1. So that's what I'm thinking.
I like that thought. Like, imagine she is Melisandre, and she is trained to do the many-faced god stuff, and she's imagine that she's got a different face on, and that's actually like how mind-blown would all of us be at the end of this.
I mean, when she was with Daemon, now granted, Daemon hasn't really aged either, for the most part. He doesn't look like he's aged, but how old was she? 15, maybe? So you're telling me 40? She's 45 right now. She doesn't look 45.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting. At the meeting, you talked a little bit. I was kind of like, interesting.
So from all this scene stuff that they were doing, Otto obviously wanted to find the king and wanted to find Aegon to make him king, and she had control of him. She'd hidden him somewhere. She knew of his location, and she said, "Well, I'm not just going to tell you. We're going to have to barter first." And she just comes out with the weirdest thing ever. I think like she says, "I want to stop all the kids fighting." Like, okay, so this is your main goal. This is what you want. Like, okay, I think that comes from the fact that she was a slave. Because she says to Daemon in that episode, I wanted you to free me from those bonds, and you kind of put me straight back into them when you said that I was pregnant and we were going to get married without my knowledge and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
So that makes a lot of sense now that you say that. But again, I feel like that's something the show should have revisited a little bit, because I feel like we haven't seen her in like a few episodes, and gosh, that was like way back in episode 1. I mean, that's like 2.5 months ago almost.
We saw her when the little boy saw Rhaenyra in the sex pits, because the boy went and paid her. The boy went and paid her, and that was from Otto, right?
Yeah.
So Otto knows of her, and Otto even met her on the bridge. She was standing behind Daemon on the bridge when they met. So I don't understand why in these scenes they don't seem to know each other. They don't. I didn't get the vibe that they knew each other. I got the vibe that they just met for the first time here.
Her and Otto.
Yeah, but they'd already met before on the bridge, and she's done work for him with Talia getting paid by the spy. So I just didn't get the connections.
And the only people with them at this point are Eric and Eric, right?
Yeah. Eric and Eric.
Yeah, Eric and Eric.
Mm-hmm. So what about you, Louis?
Liquid Fidel said.
What's worse, kids fighting it out or the princess getting burned thanks to the Melisandre?
Yep.
Oh, you mean Princess? Yeah, okay. I think that the princess is the worst because I
That
love
was-
that girl. I love that little girl.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Dude, that was so sad.
Yeah.
Sorry for spoilers, Charles. I won't say her name because I know that you're probably still going to keep watching.
Charles,
But
you
I
should be on season 3 by now. Let's go, man.
Where are you, Charles?
Yeah, I
Where
gotta
are you?
pace myself. Where am I?
Charles has it downloaded. He hasn't hit play yet, though.
I'm almost to the end of 2.
Okay.
So
Oh, you're through season 2, though? That's cool. All right.
almost.
Almost.
Yeah, so I didn't say her name. I generally can't remember her name, but I'm glad that I can't remember it so that I don't spoil it for you.
Nah, by the time he gets there, he won't even remember.
Then it came to my head just then. Literally, I know it now. It's in my head. It's crazy.
You can say
so
it
Lily,
now, and I won't remember. So
I believe it's Princess Shireen. Shireen.
yeah.
Yeah. We are talking about the right person, right, Fidel? The girl in Game of Thrones with the grayscale that reads the books and she's got the dragons. So
Stannis has got her.
Lily, what do you think that Melisandre's been a decent character? Or do you think that she's kind of been hidden? We don't know much about her.
I thought this was a little bit confusing too. And again, yeah, I noticed that the thing that she asked of him, like stop the fighting with the children, that seemed a little bit odd in the grand scheme of everything that's going on. Plus, when he was like, it will be considered, it was like, yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah,
That's how I read
it was
that.
basically a way of saying, it's not going to happen, you know?
Yeah. But she was really hard to understand too. I'm glad I had captions on because I find her difficult to understand.
Yeah.
We just talked about this.
She's got a weird accent.
HBO, like what you're doing with the accent, like I don't know. She reminds me of Kofi Kingston from WWE. She's got like a Jamaican like accent.
Yeah, it reminded me of the one in the one Pirates of the Caribbean when they go to that island.
Oh my gosh. What's her name? No, it's not Kira. Oh my God. What's her name?
I'm not a massive fan of Pirates of the Caribbean. So
I got it right here. I know exactly. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. So, Baby Ice, what were your thoughts on Misario and also their communication today?
Well, like you said, I mean, they met before, so. And the real question for me is why who is she really working for? You know, because I mean, she did give, give the kid back, or well, not kid, whatever. But I mean, but I think she has alternative motives other than just the stop the kid fighting thing. I think there's more to that.
Yeah, I just don't get why Otto even trusts her because, as far as I'm aware, he believes that she's with Damon. They've been sleeping with each other. He knew that. So I don't know. I don't know why he even trusts her. Charles, do you have anything to add that you want to put in for Misario and Otto?
Totally honest, I couldn't remember until it kind of registered after she started talking. I was like, okay, now I know who she is. Because it slipped my mind, but like you're met each other, they know each other, yet they acted like they'd never seen each other. You know, and that was kind of odd.
Yeah.
So, and then what she asked for, she could have asked for anything in the world. So.
No, and I think part of it goes back to what I've been saying for the last couple lives. This is the problem you have when you have these big time dumps. You don't get to see the relationships of these other people, and you're supposed to just oh, okay, so they must have been talking or whatever, you know. And so let me throw out one little theory. What if? So I know you had spoken about Allison having the other son, right? What if the little kid with the blonde hair? What if that's what if that's Damon and was it Masaria's son? Just a little conspiracy.
Like
theory.
it.
I was
I
just
like
thinking
it.
something like that too. Or
And
somehow.
then And that's why
Yeah.
because she knows, maybe Damon doesn't know. Well, Damon probably doesn't know at this point, but maybe she knows that's her son, and then maybe he's like next up or something like that, or something. And so she's trying to stop it. So just a little conspiracy theory there.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool conspiracy theory. So we're just going to skip through to this one. We mentioned about her earlier. Why was Kristen Cole being protected? And she kind of admits it here, and she says, "I want him to be named Lord Commander of the Kingsguard," which isn't a good move, I don't think. It's just giving the dude more power, and he doesn't need it.
Right.
This creeped me out as well. Like, dude, I hate Otto so much. He says to Alicent, "You look so much like your mother in certain lights." Like, I don't know. He's a creep. I wouldn't put it past him to possibly want to, I don't know, be with his daughter in that way. I don't know. Did anybody else get that vibe when he said this? Did you feel creeped out by him?
Well,
No.
I thought maybe something had already happened in the past like that. Because he has such such a reign over her that it almost seems like he's done that before.
What happened to her mom? I forgot.
We don't know.
Yeah, I was looking that up right afterwards. And I'm like, I don't know her. I can't even find who her mom is. Like, it's weird.
Like, we also didn't know about Cersei's mother.
That's true.
Right. Mm-hmm.
All we know is that she died in childbirth when Tyrion was born. So,
right.
Because they blamed Tyrion for killing their mother because he was a monster, as they say it. So yeah, I just got a bit freaked out by him. And Otto is just fantastic. Every scene that he demands the screen, he talks more with his facial expressions than he does with his words, I think. And I love actors that do that kind of stuff.
I mean, beside Matt Smith, I think he's the best actor in this.
Oh yeah, hands down. And it's funny you say that because they're the two most known actors to me. That are, the UK guys.
Yeah.
And then very close to Paddy Considine for King Viserys.
I mean, in the US, I mean, Matt Smith and probably Olivia Cook are probably the most well known.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have this scene here. We have Eric, or Eric. Forgive me if I get it wrong because it is still confusing. They go and rescue Rhaenys. He goes and rescues Rhaenys. And do you guys see this hanging person here? On
Yes.
the left.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the dude.
So that was the Orwell dude, right?
Yeah.
Caswell dude. Lord Caswell.
So I thought
he was hanging.
I thought it was Harold.
Harold Westerling.
Oh, the knight?
Honestly.
Yeah, no, it wasn't him.
It was because he
Lord
said he was
Caswell.
leaving and they didn't like that idea, and
Mm-hmm. Fidel says, "Oh, Olivia Cook was in Ready Player One." Yep, one of my favorite shows, favorite movies.
And I just found out Matt Smith was in Morbius.
Yeah, Morbius was terrible. Just gonna say.
Hey.
So here, this is where they were trying to get to. So this is a map of King's Landing here, and then we have Blackwater Bay. So they were rushing out, Eric and Rhaenys. They were rushing out to get to Blackwater Bay so they could escape to get to Dragonstone. And you see them using the same stairwell that Rhaenyra and Daemon used when they went out for the night. They used that same stairwell into the city, which was like a back entrance to the keep. So then we move to this scene as they're scurrying through to try and get Rhaenyra away. I don't know if anybody missed this. Quite a lot of people did miss this, I think, online. But does anyone know whose this house is before I let you all know who it is?
Isn't it Masario's?
It is Masario's, yes. So Alicent and Lord Varys have a conversation, and he says he knows of a spy, and he asks her permission if he should go and get rid of it and sort it out, and she says yes. And he is the Firefly, and he did what he did to Arwen Strong, and he killed them with the fire at Harrenhal. And it is suspected to be that this is Masario's house, and that he has murdered her in this scene. So I don't know if she's died off scene or if we're going to see her in the next episode. This doesn't happen in the books. But yeah, this was a lot of people missed this. He did set this house on fire. Thoughts on that? Anybody shocked that?
How did you know it's her house?
Well, because he said to her he's going to sort it out. And these top windows up here, they do look very reminiscent of when she was talking with
Oh, yeah.
Otto earlier.
Yeah.
In the outside area.
Huh.
So the ramifications of this are quite good, because if say, for example, she isn't in this building, but she knows that this attempt on her life was done, she doesn't know who did it, because it could have been Otto, because Otto knows about her and Damon, and then knows about the stuff that she's just done with the king, and we know that it's Laris, or it's supposedly Laris, because he's the Firefly dude. So it's definitely got good ramifications for it. So we'll see. But yeah, suspectedly this is her house, and they burnt it, or Laris burnt it. So yeah, shock factor. We'll maybe see next week if she's still in it.
Yeah, I had no clue. I had no clue what was going on right there. I'll be completely honest with you.
Okay, so this is just, I got this. I'm not going to read all this, but this was what the Maester dude was reading out when Aegon was being crowned. Talking about the 7 gods and stuff. And I just had the arrow here because it says, "We remember on this day the catalysm visited on the sept of the throne and shrine." So the dragon pit used to be a massive sept back in the day. It was huge. It had lots more on top of it, and it all crumbled down, and we just had the dragon pit that was left. And then obviously over the years it all depletes and stuff, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I like highlighting text things that we get to see on screen. It's definitely a good one. So we're now moving into the final scenes of this episode, guys. I know probably going a little longer than usual. So here we have Aegon. They found him, and Alicent is talking with him, and she gives him the dagger. So he says to her, "Mother, do you love me?" And she calls him an imbecile or something, which I think we have in the next scene. Yes, you imbecile, which is a big step up from last week, because last week she said, "You're no son of mine," and now this week she's just calling him imbecile. Mm-hmm. So does everyone get the vibes that he just wants to be loved? That he's just,
yes, totally.
he just wants to be a loved boy. Okay, because nobody likes him. Like I understand why he didn't want to go and be the king. It's a bit crazy being in that power and having all that power and stuff. He just wanted to fuck about and mess around, and now he can't do that. Now he's got a serious job. So yeah, it was a bit thingy when she said this, "You imbecile." I was like, that line doesn't kind of fit this. For me, it didn't fit the time period.
Right.
That imbecile just seemed a more 21st century kind of word than it meant like back in the 1600s or however when this is set. But yeah, I got that impression. I don't know about you guys.
I think what she was trying to say to him, though, is like, do you not see everything I'm doing for you, child?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So we're going to move to, I took this screen chat. Go ahead.
What century is this supposed to be in?
Oh, I haven't got a clue.
Imbecile became 16th century. It said.
Oh, okay.
Imbecile began its life in English in the 16th century as an adjective meant weak or feeble. Oh. So that makes more sense than what we probably think of imbecile being. I would think that nowadays, if you hear someone get called an imbecile,
you're just an idiot.
Like they're an idiot, or to not be politically correct, like retard or something like that. Mm-hmm. Whereas then it was meant more like weak or feeble. So it kind of makes sense then. But again, that's Google talking to us, so who knows?
Right.
So give me a hell yeah, Anthony.
We're almost at the end of the episode, guys. I appreciate everybody being here and sticking in. This scene gave me chills. Like, I just love this scene so much. Like, we haven't seen a coronation like this at all in this entire franchise between House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. This was epic. The minute when he walks through, and as he's walking through, the swords come down behind him. It was just so perfectly shot. What about you guys? Did you like this shot? I think he looks like a badass king here.
Yeah, he acted it well too. Like when the swords came down behind him, at first he was kind of like, oh, and then he was like, wait, I think I like that.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second, this might be
Yeah.
awesome.
Like
And then look at the last one with the sword going down. Now look how determined he looks.
Mm-hmm.
he literally became likable in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is why I don't think he's like Joffrey.
Oh, I'm so excited for you guys to see what he does.
Joffrey was just an arrogant little shit, and this dude is just like he didn't want any of this, and it's almost like Alicent is almost forcing this upon him at this point, and I'm really excited to see what happens here because, I mean, in the back of my mind, I still think that his brother is going to kill him. I really think that's how his storyline ends. And again, maybe I'm way off on that. Who knows?
And
But
steal his sister wife too.
there you go, right? His sister wife.
Charles, what do you think to
Yeah,
this
I
scene?
keep it all in the family. So
Charles, what do you think to this?
I think like Ned said, he really showed some light in this because he came in like a feeble child, really, and him walking up there, it showed a progression in him, like I can do this, and and then by the end of it, we all see what happens. But I think he, like Ned said, it really shows some likability coming, and let's hope it sticks around.
yeah, and
Baby Ice, do you like Aegon?
No.
No.
No. In this scene, I still didn't like him, and I still didn't think he accepted it until people started cheering for him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the love and acceptance he's been looking for. And I think that's what changed his mind to be like, yeah, but,
Yeah, he didn't get the love from his family, and he got it directly from the people out there, and they were all cheering for him.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that because I think that's exactly what it is. It's just like he's got other siblings. He is kind of a joke on the family almost because of the way he lives, and this is what he needed. And when he lifts that sword up, and I'm sure you had that screenshot, when he lifts that sword up, it's such a fantastic scene. And then I got like we are talking off camera, and I thought that was the end of the episode. And then then we get to the finale. But like I would have been okay with them ending there. But I'm glad they did what they did with the next part.
Yeah, so here I put everybody's name on the screen because for me, I'm Team Rhaenyra, have been and always probably will be. So for me, I see these as a list like Arya could have had for her list of people that need to die for doing what they did today. So you got Orwell, Jasper, Tyland, Aemond, Alicent, Helena, and Kristen, and obviously Aegon. This is pretty accurate to the books, guys. Kristen does crown Aegon with the crown, and the only thing different is the red ruby sapphires are not in the crown, which I was a bit confused as. There's supposed to be red stones, beautiful red stones around this crown, because the crown is from Aegon the Conqueror, and that's why he's wearing it. There's a massive thing that happens with the other crown that Viserys wore that might find out next week. And I think we do see something in the trailer as well for next week as well. So, they do kind of explain where it comes from. But yeah, did everybody notice the chair in the background as well was the same chair that Jaehaerys was sitting in at the very beginning of the show?
Yeah.
Remember old Jaehaerys?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He was sat in that chair at the back, which is pretty cool. I don't know about you guys, but do you guys get a different perspective for everybody that's seen to the end of Game of Thrones? The Dragon Pit in Game of Thrones looks a lot smaller than the Dragon Pit here, and it's supposed to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, look how many people are in this room. Then remember how many people were sat round that meeting at the end when they chose who was going to be king.
I thought that was outside though.
It was in the Dragon Pit. It was in the area of the Dragon Pit. They were surrounded by the ruins.
Isn't this being done inside?
In the Dragon Pit, yeah.
This scene right here is indoors.
That's just because the dragon pit in Game of Thrones has eroded and there was no longer a roof.
So it's the same area, just there's no roof now?
Yeah, it was just eroded and broken down. It's the same place.
Oh. Yeah, they go into Game of Thrones, I thought it was like above it. And just like a little sitting area almost. Yeah, it's kind of weird then.
Yeah, I got the size comparisons real different. Like we had 12 people sat in that area and it looked like kind of small.
Yeah, but Danny,
I don't want to talk too much because Charles has not seen it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Danny lands the dragon over there too. I mean, that's a big area too. So
yeah. So here we have Septon Euston. So the dude that's putting the cross and the holy water on his head is one of the guys that you hear his side of the story in the book. He is one of the accounts that you hear throughout it, and he said that Kristen killed. No, he was the one that said on Otto's side that Lord Beesbury was in the cells. That was what he said. So yeah, I just wanted to share that, and obviously what he's saying at this point is the same thing I shared with the photograph earlier with the words and the text on the screen, with the 7 talking to the 7. And yeah, I did get the picture of him lifting the sword for you, Headless. It was an iconic scene.
Oh,
he kind of cheers to them, doesn't he? And he's like, give me adoration, and he gets it. And he loves it, you know, and it was definitely cool. I don't know, I felt super cool with this scene. And again, when Headless says when he has his hands out like this, I would have happy if it went to black from there.
Yeah, I mean, this was the best scene in the episode for about 5 seconds.
What did you think, Lily? Are you happy that Aegon's king?
No, but
You're Team Rhaenyra?
I'm Team Rhaenyra. But in this scene right here, when he had the blessing and everything, I would have liked to have been able to read Helena's thoughts, or had her say one more of her seer things that she says, because she was feeling something specific when that happened, I felt like. And then she looked away, and it probably because she just can't bear to even think of him having this power, knowing who he is. She knows more than anyone, I think. But I love him as a character, but he's horrible.
So I do have obviously preconceived thoughts of this dude because I know what he's about to go and do and stuff like that. So it's hard to give my honest opinion without spoiling things. But I love the dude currently. He's fantastic. He did perfectly in this scene, and he looks very majestic. And you know, he's got Aegon's crown. He's called Aegon. He has Aegon's sword, Blackfire. Like, you can't pretty much be any more legitimate to Aegon's conquered than who he is. You know, it's his name. He's got his crown. He's got his sword. It's, you know, because all Viserys did was used it as a walking stick. So if we get to see Blackfire actually being used, Blackfire is one of the most infamous swords in Game of Thrones history and lore. It does so much cool stuff. It's like Lightbringer and Jon Snow's and all, you know, there's crazy. But yeah, then we move to this scene, which was just epic. Like dragons, you know, House of Dragon, and we don't see many dragons in the show. Like, come on. But this is Meleys. This is the first time that we've seen the Red Queen, Meleys. And I don't know, what do you guys think to this? I initially thought, I knew it was going to be Meleys because we'd seen her leave, but I didn't know that she was going to come in a dragon. So, would you like a buck bomb?
Yes.
No.
The dragon never. No. Well, we'll vote. 1 yes, 1 no. So let's see if Charles or Headless choose.
Go ahead.
Okay. So Headless, are you going to make the tie, or are you going to make Baby Ice upset this week?
Oh, go ahead. I won't read the book, so go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. The dragon isn't in the book. This scene with the dragon coming out from the floorboards and doing what it does is not in the book. Rhaenys is in the crowd. Rhaenys slinks off. Rhaenys flies back to Dragonstone alone. But what they did was they teased us last week, because Alicent and Rhaenyra have a conversation, and Rhaenyra says, "I will return alone on Dragonback." She said that to her. So then when the dragon comes in this episode and they hide the identity of the rider, it's presumed to the viewer that this could be Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
The dragons kind of look the same in the dark. Cyrax and Melee's are kind of similar. A little bit. I don't know if anyone else sees that. For me, in this scene, I don't know about you guys, but does it not look like the dragon's got his head upside down?
Yeah.
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 Right here?
Yeah, right here. It looks like the
Yep.
dragon's head's upside down. I don't know about you guys, but it looks like it a little bit.
Yeah.
The only reason why I say no, because I know dragons have that
Yep.
goo on their chins. But I can see, now that I blow it up, I can see what you're saying. But they do have that little thing underneath their chins.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm a little bit disappointed with the CGI of these dragons.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, because we're not seeing much of it. We're not seeing them flying very much. The only one we've seen flying is Vhagar, and that was the best scene in cinematic history for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was good. But yeah, so we see Melee's the Red Queen. This is Rhaenys's dragon.
Saying now, though.
I thought this
You
was
just-
really cool, and I was glad they brought Rhaenys back in to build her character because I think she's awesome, and I wanted them to show more of her. But I don't know. I would have liked things to have gone differently.
And what happens to dragon armor over the years? Because Dany was out there riding in short sleeve t-shirts.
Yeah.
And, like,
Well, she can't be burned. And can some of these other people be burned?
Okay, you can't be burned, but you can have a spear chucked through your chest if you're not wearing an
True.
armored plate.
True.
Yeah, but
I just
armor
think she
doesn't,
looks
armor
badass
doesn't
in this scene.
armor doesn't do anything.
So if she had given the command, would Aegon, Helena, and Aemond still be alive? Would they not have
No.
been burned?
Well, I don't know. They haven't confirmed that lore.
Okay.
Again, this doesn't happen in the book. So whatever they do with this scene was completely on their own and moving forward with their own storyline. I heard somebody say that TV show is canon. The book is other people's perspectives. So if people could see it that way. Like what they do on the TV show is what they're deciding is canon. So I don't know. I'm a little bit confused with it.
How do they talk about the burnability in the books if they're Targaryen?
Not really.
That's weird then. Because they didn't really explain that in Game of Thrones. Why? I did. Coming into this, I'm like, oh, so all Targaryens just can't be burned because they ride dragons or whatever.
Well, we see,
But we
Thingy do
saw
this with
like
the
her.
flame.
What was that?
We see Viserys do this with the flame in one of the episodes, and he doesn't seem to get burnt.
Yeah.
We see Daemon coming through the fire when they're chasing Vhagar, and he doesn't seem to
True.
be burnt.
And then
But
and what's her
Lena
face?
got burnt to death. Lena turned into a crispy Valerian.
But
So.
she wasn't.
She also
she
wasn't fully
true.
Targaryen
Targaryen.
either.
Okay.
Yeah, she wasn't. Yeah, she was half. So
Well, and she ordered it.
Yeah.
true. But she also wasn't full Targaryen.
Right.
Do we know who Daenerys' mother and father are?
Not that I'm aware of.
Time for Google.
So does everybody else like the armor that they seem to wear in this show? I think it suits a lot. Like they have the saddle. They have the saddles.
I'm just confused on how she had time to get dressed.
I know. The continuity issues sometimes are annoying, but
I mean, she literally ran down the stairwell, and then we're here. So, you know.
So initially last night on Headless is Live, I thought that she'd crashed in through the roof, but no, she came from underneath the floorboards. So does that confirm Helena's conspiracy? Been beast
Oh, yeah.
beneath the boards?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested
Shadowing
to
to
see what
this
you guys
stuff.
think of that.
This right here.
Okay, because I'm just going to say in a couple of episodes' time, maybe in season 2, I'm going to ask you the same question regarding the beast with the boards, and maybe you might have a different
Okay.
analogy to talk about. So that might be interesting.
All right, throw that up there real quick.
Oh.
Are you,
Daenerys Targaryen is the daughter of King Aerys II Targaryen. the Mad King. Oh yeah, and his
Yep.
sister wife, Queen Rhaella, were one of the last survivors of House Targaryen.
So they're both Targaryens. So let's think about that. So right now in the show, who are both considered a Targaryen? So it would be anyone. So it would be the three. Well, how many kids they have? Daemon and Rhaenyra. Those would be the kids right now. So if we pull this up, so where are we at here? So where am I going here? Who's Daemon? Daemon. So it's the two young kids, Aegon and it's Viserys, right? So there you go. So these are true Targaryens because they are fully Targaryen all the way. So it'll be interesting to see if anything with fire comes up with these two kids.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be also Daemon and Rhaenyra?
So Rhaenyra, so let's see. So Rhaenyra was the well, I don't know. No, because look at Aemma.
Emma.
Emma, is that Emma? I'm blind.
That's his.
Yeah,
that
Emma.
was Viserys's wife, Emma.
Yep. So Emma was not a Targaryen.
Oh, what was she?
So
Rhaenyra should not be like if we're doing this. I mean, she's Targaryen. Where's Daemon at?
Wait, what was Emma? Because she was white haired.
Emma is Arwen. Do we know anything about Arwen? Well, here we can go up all the way back. See, here you go. Because so here you go, Targaryen. So this is where it started, and then after that, we still have two more Targaryens. So really, technically, so Daemon is a full Targaryen.
Headless, what are you looking at? Sorry to thingy. What can you share? What you're looking at?
Can you not see it?
No.
No, you shared us the thing that was Daenerys Targaryen, but that.
All right, hold on a minute. Yeah. Here, let me pull
Sorry
back
to.
up.
Sorry
I
to.
thought I jumped back over to you guys. All right, hold on a minute. Let me do it. That's my bad.
So just the last two scenes on this episode, we have the dragon leaving. Obviously, the dragon left and she got out, so she's obviously going to go back and tell Rhaenyra now what's happening to the next episode. And then I just had the Fire Emblem. And thank you very much.
I don't know why she doesn't end them there.
Because we wouldn't have a show. We wouldn't have a show, would we?
I know.
Because it does leave some loopholes, though, the fact that she didn't, because she didn't care about killing all of those peasants with her dragon when she entered. But she didn't kill those people.
Yeah, she did a mass suicide. She did some pretty bad stuff today in this episode.
All right, so here we have Jaehaerys, and is it Alicent? I guess
Jaehaerys and Alicent.
So they're both Targaryens, and then that drops us down to Aemon, who marries a Baratheon. So that
Jocelyn,
that creates Rhaenys. So she's not technically she's not considered full Targaryen. But
so anything after her is also not Targaryen because she's not got Targaryen blood. So they call us
correct.
They're not. Yeah.
So we have Targaryen here. We have Balon and we have Alyssa. They're both Targaryens. And then you can see we have Daemon. So Daemon would be considered a full Targaryen. And then we have Viserys. But then again, we have Emma right there.
Emma Arryn. Okay, so she's
right. Arryn, right. But so we still have Daemon continuing. And then that goes with so I mean, if you think of percentages, this is like 75% right here. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they develop these two characters. If that has anything to do with what Daenerys was, because obviously, like they don't have every every character is not going to be 100%. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. I wish they would now. I wish they would explain that a little bit more in Game of Thrones why she was immune to fire. Because it happened.
Definitely.
Yeah, because her brother wasn't.
Correct. Yeah, which is even
That's a good point.
Yep.
So I forgot to show you guys earlier. I've got some stuff for my collection. Baby Ice gifted me these things. I make myself a big screen. They're really, really cool. So we have
nice.
these.
Oh,
these
nice.
things that they can hang on the thing. With Targaryen. We have Stark.
Nice.
But two of the things that I've got.
Very cool.
Yeah, Baby Ice gifted me these. She's very smart with the way she does it. So instead of sending it overseas, she just changes the address in eBay to my address, and then it comes to me from the UK.
There you go.
It's pretty smart. And I've also got a Stannis Baratheon little figure. Pretty cool. And then the last thing I wanted to show you guys is this Game of Thrones pouch that I have, which is really, really cool. It's like a bag, and inside it
what's in there?
is 6 dice.
Yahtzee.
We have the different symbols on them for the houses. And these were gifted to me by Rehash Tabs. So thank you very much, buddy. Thank you for the stuff you give me as well, Baby Ice. They are really cool, and they usually sit behind me in the background. But I thought I'd show them off today.
Next to your 10-inch.
Yeah.
Is that a 10-inch Chucky doll behind you?
Yeah, I'll go big again. Yeah, it is.
Up there?
Yeah, it's
is that
10-inch and then a 10-inch Boba, a 10-inch Mandalorian, and a 10-inch Joker.
Yeah.
And a 10-inch thing just here.
That's a chrome. That's a chrome Mando, huh? That's cool.
Yeah, it's Mando. And can you see the two dogs, the two dire wolves guarding Grogu and
Oh yeah, I see them. Yeah.
and then I've got my minis. I've got my minis atop. And then if you look at Chucky's blade, whose head is he touching? It's hard to see, but it's actually Ned Stark. As a mini.
Ned?
It's Ned, yeah.
Is it a Funko Pop?
No, it's a minifig.
Oh, like a little mini. Okay.
Yeah, let me get it.
You're just cruel.
I figured.
Yeah, that's
I
not
figured
very
it was
nice.
Deadpool knowing you.
Right. I thought Deadpool would have been up there.
Oh, nice. There it is. Poor.
And they're black and white
Ned.
because it was the in memoriam set, and it was everybody that died.
Yeah, that's why he's grayed out. That's cool.
Because I do have the. Do I have the coloured one? No, but I have like different coloured ones. You know.
Yeah.
I got minifigures everywhere. It's crazy. But yeah, basically, guys, that's it. So we'll go around the room, get everybody's final thoughts on the episode, break it down, give me a score out of 1 to 10, like 1 to 10 stars or 1 to 5, however you want to mark it. So Charles, we'll go with you. Appreciate you being here for so long, and I'm sorry for going for 2 hours.
You're good, dude. You're good.
Next week will be 2 hours though. It's the finale, so.
Yes. So this episode, like we all said, it kind of started off slow with the whole search thing. I think they kind of drug that out a little too long, personally, but they had to fill an hour. So, but I liked how it ended because it left quite a few questions. You know, I think a lot of us have questions now. I would probably give it an 8.5. It could have been better. Like I said, the first step is like, come on already, you know, personally. But yeah.
What about yourself, Baby Ice?
So,
Throughout the most of the episode, a 6, and then the ending was an 8 for me.
Okay, and does your score not lower or go higher knowing the book bombs that I've given for tonight? Does it make the show better for you knowing that they're doing these things differently to the book?
Yes. But I also have a theory in general. I've been paying attention to something and see if I'm wrong here. But does it seem like everybody that is broken becomes some kind of power? Like Bran the Broken with that situation. Then you got Aemon. You know, so I think there's going to be something for him. You know, then you have Laris. He's broken.
Okay.
You know.
So you're saying disabilities within the show can be a powerful disadvantage?
Well, no, I think they're an advantage. Because in Bran's case, you know, he became broken and then, you know.
Yeah,
so
no, I get you. Yeah, I get where you're going.
I think, is it telling us something underhanded that these people are going to become powerful later? Just
No, I completely agree, and I can't answer it honestly because
right.
we are moving forward, and remember that they've confirmed 4 seasons of this show, so maybe we don't get the dragon fight so fast because it is going to spread it over quite a lot of time. It's not just going to be one episode where we're going to have dragons fighting,
Right.
Yeah, Lily, what about yourself? Where would you score this episode? Has the breakdown helped with it a little bit? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 7, but I am expecting fire next week. So
I just wanted to give you fire because you asked for it. Sorry to cut you. You were mid conversation just as I pressed that button. So what were you saying?
I better deliver. I have faith,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Okay. And Headless, are you with us or have you disappeared? I'm guessing he's disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to say something real quick. I love this community. I absolutely appreciate everybody. I have had the best 9 weeks of my YouTube career probably going forward. I found my niche on YouTube, I think, with these breakdowns and these slideshows of things that I've been doing. I really enjoy them and it's easy for me to do and I love doing it. Whereas editing a Funko video is painstakingly hard for me and I really regret doing them sometimes. So I think moving forward, we'll probably be going more of this stuff. But I did search the internet and there's a guy that can say what I want to say better. So I'm just going to click it.
I count myself so fortunate to be a member of a community that is nothing but all about tolerance and diversity, because no other place could I be standing on a stage like this.
Exactly to a T what he just said. If it wasn't for you guys all being my friend and YouTube allowing me to just even go live with a click of a button, I wouldn't be as passionate as I am about this show and about sharing it with all my friends and everybody watching. So I just want to thank absolutely every single person. And I love you all. And then I think we've got one from Samuel.
I'm so proud of you. And I hope you are too. Like the moon, my thoughts on this revolve around you.
And I said I love you all. And
I love you to the moon and back.
I don't know. I found these today and I was giggling along with myself and I thought I've got to share these with everybody, just turn it into a little bit of a fun, because this episode was quite depressing. So I just thought, make everybody smile at the end of it. But Headless, you weren't here when we got to you. So what's your final thoughts on this episode and your score?
So I really liked the second half better than the first half. The first half was really slow. But I understand where they're going. The ending was fantastic. And I'm still going to give it like 8.5. So I've lowered it just a little bit from yesterday. But it depends what happens in the next episode. Because this could end up being one of the better episodes, depending on what it leads to. Because I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with Aegon next episode. I want to see. I want to see. And it just sucks that it's only one more episode. Like, it's just, brutal.
And the painstaking thing is that we might not get season 2 till 2024.
Yeah, I heard about
What?
it.
We might not get season 2 till 2024.
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
My God, I'm gonna cry. Why?
Yeah, I know. Winter is coming and there's dragons and zombies on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to give it a score of 8. It's going to stay the same. I've been living and breathing this thing since it aired on Sunday, so it hasn't got any better for me in any of the rewatches. It's just the same. I can't wait for next week. I don't know where we're going with it. I don't know what they're going to do because they keep surprising me, and I'm the all-seeing, all-knowing dude because I've got book knowledge. You
are like the Helena of the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Milky's going to get to 1,000 subs this year. Oh. Oh. I just, you never know. We might get to the end of the year and I was right and my prediction was right.
Yeah.
So I want to thank all the panel for being here. We've got 7 people watching. I did say earlier on that we would watch Tilt Pop's new music video. So if anybody of you do need to leave or do need to go, I I completely understand. This is Funko content, and if people aren't Funko, then I understand. But I'm gonna put it on. So Lily, I think that was basically aimed at you, because do you collect Funko?
I do not, and I have to go to bed.
Yeah.
So good night, everybody.
I didn't
Thank
tell you
for
it was going to be
having me.
2 hours, so thank you for being here,
Right.
and I hope you
Bye.
can be here next week for the final.
Oh, absolutely. Bye.
Fantastic. See you later. Awesome. I know we're all Funko guys, right? So
Yep.
let's watch Tilts Pop's video. Is Tilts Pop still in the chat or not? I don't know, but we'll still check it out. So they said it was feet, but
like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, whatever. You know it all. But yeah, hey, this is Sick Vic, Ill Bill, and we are Tails Pops. Boom, baby.
Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here, man. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here, man. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here, man. I've been buying Funkos from the jump. Living at the Funko house, we planned it every month, killer. I've been buying Funkos on my own. Working all day, Funkos on the way home, and my uncle calling me like, where you at? I gave you the cheese, go and put those pops back, sucker. I just think it's Funko how it goes. Now we on the road, pop battling on the shows, cause we started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here, man. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here, man. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here, man. Pops with stories, yeah, I'm in. Say I never hunted, I'm hungry, yeah, I got it, man. I be collecting pops that are mint. They ain't really much out here cause we got them all, man. We just want exclusives that are new. I'ma buy them all for me while I'll give them all to you, man, just as a reminder for myself. I be counting every pop, even when I'm in the house, man. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here, man. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here, man. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here, man. No fake pops, yeah, we don't feel that. A fake pop, where your real pops at? The Funko Pop game is changing. The woo stay the same through the subbies and the fame, cause we started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here, man. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here, man. Started with a pop, now we here. Started with a pop, now the whole set's here, man.
So did I just get clickbaited by Tills Pops, because there was no feet in that video?
Yeah.
Tills Pops, we love you. Thank you. And I need a Funko feet video. I need a Funko feet video, please. Tills Pops are great guys. If you're not subscribed to them, guys, then definitely subscribe to them. Fidel, we'll go through the chat real quickly. He says that he's expecting Blood and Gore next week.
You and me both.
He says that Samuel Tarly is one of the most lovable characters of Game of Thrones. Facts. Straight facts. He goes jebaited. Targaryen family is nuts. Fidel, you're going to have to come up on the panel sometime. Even if you make it for season 2, you're more than welcome to come up and share your thoughts and yeah, have a great time. But guys, I'm not going to keep you any longer because this is a long stream. I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for all hanging out. And my name's been Ryan Milkey. This has been an episode 9 breakdown of House of the Dragon. You've all been awesome. And as Headless always says, keep those heads on.
That's right. There you go.
There you go. I got it this time. I didn't need any help from Headless. I want to thank all my guests and all my panel members tonight. Thank you all. And I guess we will all see you later.
Fire.